Hall of Fame shit, nigga. Keep it. Come on, get out there. Get out there. Good catch, my boy. 5 Unit Nation, man. Number 1, man.
Hey, man, go run this shit up, man. Go on. We spend.
What's up, y'all? I'm back with another episode. This is Sgds, Same Goal, Different Struggle podcast, y'all. I am your host, Ajay. If you never heard of me before, my name is Ajay Brown. I talk sports, politics, music, relationship, and I'm probably gonna get into a few more other things, y'all. This is Black History Month, and to be honest with you, I should have been speaking on certain shit like this, man. I think I had a wake up call, and you know what I mean, I just gotta do more. I gotta be more uplifting, more just energized with this shit. If I'm gonna do it, I don't wanna come on here really depressing and all that shit, man. We gonna, I'm gonna do shit a little different, man. Even if I'm going through something, I'm gonna do it a little different, y'all. This is episode 105, y'all. I appreciate everybody that tunes in and support the channel, support me. Please like, subscribe, comment. I need the comments. I need the feedback on how y'all feeling, man. How y'all liking it. I appreciate everybody, man. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and start. I think I'm gonna start, man. Really, I usually start with my Falcons, but I'm gonna start with a few of the NBA trades that's been going on because I haven't spoken on the NBA at all in a while, and there's been a lot of wild shit going on in the NBA. So last night, right, the Hawks made a trade with the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors ended up trading Johnathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Hawks for Porzingis. I don't know how the fuck I feel about this trade. I think it works out for the Hawks real good because I think Johnathan Kuminga him and Johnson I believe will thrive together, man. Porzingis, I don't know how that's gonna work. Porzingis hasn't really played at all this year. He played like 15 games. And he really didn't even play with the Boston. Like, he didn't play with Atlanta, and he didn't really play a lot with Boston. I don't know where his career is going right now, man, but to me, they just swing him along, and I don't know. If I was Golden State, I would have tried to go for Giannis because you still got Jimmy Butler out right now. And with Porzingis always being fucking hurt, I just don't see the point of trading for him and how that's going to work out. But over time, I guess we will see how this works out in favor of helping Steph Curry, because everything is built around Steph Curry, man, helping him out. I think if he can stay healthy a little bit or get healthy, get healthy, I believe this trade will work out for Golden State. I believe it'll work out for both teams. The Golden State Warriors have agreed to trade for Johnathan Kuminga and guard Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks. This might work out for Buddy Hield too, because Buddy Hield really wasn't playing with gold like he usually, man. I don't know his relationship with Steve Kerr, but it really wasn't there to me. To the Hawks for the veteran center, Capriza, I don't know how to say that first name, but Porzingis. Lead sources told ESPN on Wednesday night. This marks the unofficial end of the Warriors' pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever his name. God damn. Team sources said the Warriors made several offers over the past week, but came away with the impression over the past 24 hours that the Milwaukee Bucks won't be moving Giannis. Fuck all that at the deadline and pivot to other plans. I don't know how that's gonna work out for Milwaukee, man, because I think they're not a championship team, especially with Doc Rivers as their head coach, man. I told y'all before, I've told y'all for the last 2 years if you've been watching this channel. I'm not a fan of Doc Rivers. He didn't do shit. But to me, he got that one title with Boston, and he has not done nothing ever since then. He didn't do shit in Orlando. He didn't do shit with he only did 1 year. Got that one championship with Boston. He didn't do shit with the Clippers, and he had a pretty nice squad with the Clippers. He blew that goddamn what was it, a 3-1 lead that they had versus Houston when he had the Clippers. He just haven't done a motherfucking thing in my eyes, and I just don't see why. I mean, he keeps getting these jobs, and people try to make it seem like Doc Rivers is one of them coaches. He can give some good speeches, but other than that, no. And if you, as you see on this TV screen, I mean, if you see right there on that, I'm about to get on that James Harden trade because there's been a few other trades that I would like to get into that's real crazy right now. This closed the chapter on Kuminga's five-season roller coaster tenure, with the Golden State delivering him a fresh start with the Hawks and give the Warriors a veteran scratch center on a expiring $37 million contract to plug into the rotation if healthy. Porzingis has been on the Warriors' radar dating to his previous playoff runs with the Boston Celtics. They've been on a present search for a rim protector center who can hit threes. Have long believed Porzingis would fit well in the front court next to Draymond Green. I want to see how that really works out. Whom they now plan to keep despite dangling him in the trade talk, source says. I thought they really was going to trade him. But the Porzingis fit requires availability because of a tricky illness. Portrays arthritic Tenkotary syndrome and other bumps and bruises, whatever the hell that is. Porzingis has appeared in only 17 games. My bad, I thought it was 15. 17 games for the Hawks this season after playing just 42 out of 82 for the Celtics in 2024 to 25. Like I said, he ain't been playing. The Warriors hope to get Porzingis back healthy and produce for the scratch run. He hasn't played since January 7th, almost a whole damn month. But the team sources say that the anticipation Porzingis will make his return soon after the joining Golden State. What? Oh, so I guess he will be returning as soon as he get to Golden State. The Warriors are 27-24 and 27-24 and currently 8th in the Western Conference. Only the Atlanta side. This was they swing in a high upside with wing on a contributor contract, despite never gaining firm traction in Steve Kerr's rotation. Kuminga averaged 12.5 points on 50.3 shooting. That's why I say I like this for Atlanta. I really do. I like this for Atlanta. All right, y'all. So let's get into this next trade, bro. The Mavericks trade Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards, right? And y'all let me know how the fuck y'all feel about this. Anthony Davis has just been getting swung the fuck around in the last maybe 2.5 years from Dallas. Now this shit, I don't know what's going on with him. He's always injured. If you touch him, he's injured. I honestly believe this man's career is done. In my honest fucking opinion, I just believe that it's done. I don't see what he can do. Now, don't get me wrong. Think like if he could, like, because you got to look at it like this, right? He didn't even get a chance to play with Kyrie and Cooper Flag together. They got a chance. I don't even think he really played with Kyrie like that. And he only played with Cooper Flag this year for a certain amount of games when he wasn't hurt. So they didn't really get a chance to gel matters. You didn't really get this. You don't never really get to see what a big three could be with Kyrie and everybody else. Because you see the shit that happened with him, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. It's like, bro, it's a lot of big threes that could have happened that I would have loved to see happen, but it just never, like, it's always been some injuries. And everything that we got going on, as far, not going on, but everything that we have as far as like this uptake, how can I say it? We have more stuff in strength and training. We have more resources. We have all this shit. Players stay motherfucking hurt way more than usual. Mind you, you could say they're bigger, faster, stronger, or I don't know what the cause can be. I want to say they're playing. I don't know if they're playing too much. I wouldn't say they're playing too much. I don't know what the fuck it could really be. They're not doing enough. Because you got to think about it, bro. The players back in the day, bro, they played all the fucking time. All the fucking time. They used to play pickup games. and they used to go fucking hard. The fouls was different. Like they used to play. Nowadays, nigga just be out, bro. And I know Kyrie had a torn ACL, so that's a little different. But man, players get hurt a lot faster. I'm just saying it's just different now. The Mavericks agreed to trade 10-time All-Star big man Anthony Davis to the Wizards in an 8-player blockbuster designed to maximize Dallas' flexibility to build around the rookie Cooper Flag. The Mavericks will send Davis and guard Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, who's just been fucking getting traded everywhere too, and Deontay Exum to the Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Makai Branham, and Marvin Bagley III. 2 first-round draft picks and 3 second-round draft picks. That's crazy. For Anthony fucking Davis. Ain't no motherfucking way, dog. Ain't no way he worked that much. The first round picks for the Wizards include in the deal are the Thunder's 2026 selection and the Warriors top 20 protected pick in 2030. That ain't too bad. The Mavericks have been aggressively exploring this market for Davis since the early November firing of former general manager Nico Harrison. So really, bro, they fired that man really for no. To me, that was just I don't know what the fuck the firing was for then. Because you gotta and I don't know what the fuck the Luka trade was. Like that whole Luka trade was just terrible now. Like it's gonna go down in history as one of the worst fucking trades you could ever have done. And I believe Nico was just a fall guy for that shit. But if he was the guy to pull that trade, this shit is just gonna go down in either way, it's going down in history as bad, and it's gonna fall back on him. A decision Governor Patrick Dummett made in a large part because of the fans' backlash stemming from last year's trade of Phenom MVP contender Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Davis, the centerpiece of the return in the Luka Doncic trade, was limited to only 29 games in a Mavericks uniform. That's fucking crazy because of a variety of injuries. He is owed $58.5 million next season and has a player option for $62.8 million in 2027 and 28, and is eligible to sign a contract extension in August. If I could make that money and stay injured, bro, it would be a blessing. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying? Do you know how like bro, it's people out here going to fucking work all the fucking time with all different type of problems, and this motherfucker just can't even get on the floor to play basketball, bro. You can't stay on the floor to say like, bro, Anthony Davis get hurt, bro. When you just look at his light skinned ass, dog. And I'm just being real, bro. Anthony Davis, I don't know what that nigga made of, but damn, dog, like his bones, everything in his body just literally is damaged. Davis has been out since early January because of a ligament damage in his left hand. Davis landed with the Wizards March the 2nd. Decoy ability injury star player acquired this season by Washington, which that's crazy too because they got Trae Young. I don't know. I guess they're setting up for the future, which I don't understand because Davis is just not somebody you want to have for the future. The rebuilding Wizards also traded for All-Star Trae Young last month, but the veteran guard has not played since December because of a knee and quadricep injury. The Mavericks also shed Hardy's $6 million salary and Russell's $6 million player option for next season, and a trade built around the expiring contract of Milton, Branham, and Bagley. The Mavericks dropped below the luxury tax this season with the trade. According to ESPN by March, Davis' payroll next season dipped to approximately $150 million in guaranteed money, giving the Mavericks flexibility in the offseason, in which they will likely have another lottery pick. I mean, that ain't too bad, man. Like, I get what they're doing. I understand it. from a business side, but that shit is crazy. All right, y'all. So we got the next trade we're gonna go to, and I really want to know how y'all feel about this because I don't know if I would have made this trade if I was Cleveland. The Clippers, Garland eager for the next chapter after the trade from the Cavs. Darius Garland could not have been more in transition than he was Wednesday night on his first day with his new team. Officially trade early in the day from the Cleveland Cavaliers to the Los Angeles Clippers for 11-time All-Star James Harden. Garland talked about his upheaving during halftime of Wednesday game between his current and former team. I knew about it. It wasn't shocking though, said Garland. A two-time All-Star is the business of basketball. Cleveland was great to me and my family, and I have respect for all those guys over there. 7 years was a real long time, and it was great. I'm glad I'm here now. The next chapter in my book. All right, y'all. So y'all know how I feel about Donovan Mitchell. I feel probably the same way, even worse about James Harden. And the crazy part is James Harden can ball, but when James Harden gets in the playoff, bro, James Harden disappeared. I remember that series when Chris Paul got hurt in that 6th game versus Golden State, and this is when it was Houston versus Golden State, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I was worried because I thought, and these ain't even my motherfucking team, but I was just thinking, looking at that game, if Chris Paul didn't get hurt, Houston could have beat Golden State, and that was the year they had Kevin Durant. And then in Game 7, James Harden just fucking disappeared without Chris Paul. And if y'all in the chat, y'all know y'all remember that game. Y'all let me know if y'all remember that game. James Harden disappeared, bro, and he's just too good and have been too good, but he don't execute in the playoffs like he should. Garland has been out since January 16 with a big toe sprain on his right foot, and the Clippers have no timetable for his. You call me, Stephon? Oh, I thought somebody called me. My bad. The Clippers have no timetable for his debut, but Coach Ty Lue expects to implement a new game plan once the 26-year-old point guard is on the floor. Garland said he's ready to go and waiting for the okay to play. Now, I want to see Garland and Kawhi Leonard play together and see how that goes, see how that gels, and then I would like to see how James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and then what you still got, Jared Allen, and who else is over there? Fuck. Damn, I forgot old boy's name. It's Jared Allen and somebody else that I'm thinking of. I can't think of his name right now. He's different from James, and we can play different with a faster pace. Lou said, we can play him off the ball more. It's going to be excellent. Yes, because James Harden has to have the ball. James Harden is ball dominant. He has to have that ball, bro. I know DG for a while, and having a young point guard under my tutelage. I think it's the first time I've had one since Kyrie Irving. Garland has played more than 70 games this season in his 7th season because of injury. He's on the pace to play 42 games this season. Garland uncertain availability, and the Clippers need to get a star. And the Cavaliers need to get star Donovan Mitchell more scoring help. Motivated Cleveland to swap their young floor leader for Harden, who is 10 years older. Cleveland got the score it needed and one who can also run the point, while the Clippers managed to get younger as they head towards an offseason without a first-round draft pick. I think the Clippers won right now in this trade in my head for the future, but for right now, if you asking me, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East, you got to at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You got to, bro. Like I don't see nobody. And then Boston, even though Boston is doing good, I don't know how it wins. Jason Tatum is coming back. I'm pretty sure he'll be back before the playoffs, maybe. But Cleveland got to make it, bro. They're set up to make it. The Cavaliers coach Kenny Ankerson called Garland one of his favorite players, yet that bond was not tight enough to prevent the deal for Harden.
a one-time league MVP, and a player with the second most three-pointers in the NBA history. Those are the toughest calls you have to make, but he goes up on my favorite list. Atkinson said, I'm going to miss him. We had a great relationship. Atkinson seemed to take comfort in handling Garland off to Lou, who is known for getting the most out of players. Yeah, Ty Lue is a great coach. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Clippers, Chris Paul lands with the Raptors in the what the fuck? When this happened? In the the LA Clippers, Brooklyn Nets, and Toronto have agreed on a multi-trade sending Chris Paul to the Raptors and Ochi Abagaju, a 2013 Raptors second round, and cash to the Nets. They must have just sent that nigga home. Then I thought they released his ass. The Raptors will not acquire Chris Paul to report to the team and could still discuss moving him. Damn, that's crazy, bro. They be doing Chris Paul like a nothing, dog. They really don't fuck with Chris at all. Toronto is now out of the luxury tax. Brooklyn picks up an asset in cash to cover Abaju salary, and the Clippers clear a roster spot and save $7 million tax money. Paul and the Clippers abruptly agreed to part ways in early December. One of the greatest players in franchise history, Paul posted an Instagram story a little before 3 a.m. on December 3 acknowledging the move. Paul was reportedly not on speaker terms with the Clippers coach Ty Lue for several weeks before his ouster from the team, sources say. Yeah, man, that shit crazy. And then the last little trade that we got, man, is Lonzo Ball. It was way more trade. I'm not even gonna get into the Bulls trade because I don't know what the fuck they got going on, man. They pissed me the fuck off so bad it don't make no sense. But Lonzo Ball got traded as well. The Utah Jazz has acquired Lonzo Ball in a 3-team trade with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Atlanta Hawks, but I expect it to waive the veteran and allow him to become a free agent. Do y'all believe Lonzo Ball will team up with his brother out there? What they're out there in Charlotte and shit, man. I don't know. I see people talking about that shit, but I don't know how that's gonna look. Cause I think LaMelo need to get the fuck up out of there already. But how do y'all feel about these trades, man? Are y'all feel like who do y'all feel like won these trades with the Dallas and Washington trade? You got the Hawks and Warriors trade now. Right now the Hawks have won that trade to me since Porzingis cannot fucking play at all. How do y'all feel about the also the what was the last trade I was just talking about? The Clippers and James Harden. The Clippers trading James Harden to Cleveland. How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like Cleveland should be the one that really come out of the East this year? Because I don't see nobody don't get me wrong, they have talent, and I'm not gonna say Donovan Mitchell is a bad player. I just don't believe he could get a team to a championship. I hope he could prove me wrong this year because, as you can see, even when he was with the Utah Jazz, he was a first-round exit all the time. Then he got with Cleveland. They haven't done it. And I'll be real with you, the East is not even as difficult as the West. The West right now, bro, the West right now is crazy. And then think about this though, right? What if they don't get there, right? They don't get there. And say it's LeBron's last year next year. What if LeBron come back to Cleveland for another run to get that 5th ring? And then you got James, Donovan Mitchell, you got LeBron, you got Jared Allen. In the East, man, that'll be nice. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, bro. I don't know how it'll work. Because I do think because LeBron can't play off the ball, but I don't know how him and James will mesh together and still Donovan Mitchell being the star and the leader of that team right now. I really don't know how that shit will go, but to me, right, that I don't know, man. Y'all let me know in the chat how y'all feel about that. It's just something that crossed my mind real quick. You know what I mean? But all right, y'all. So I'm done talking about basketball. I'm not even gonna go into I'm not even gonna go into like the games from last night because I'm not even in the mood. I want to talk about what I seen about these Atlanta Falcons now, and we right now have quarterback problems, real quarterback questions, and real quarterback problems, y'all. I'm a what's that shit? So y'all, president, whatever y'all want to fucking call Matt Ryan, said that he won't commit to Penix as the starter. Falcons president of football Matt Ryan would not commit either way Tuesday to Michael Penix Jr. being the team's starting quarterback. Penix is recovering. Later, man. You have a good one. Hey, did you get your clothes like I told you? Why? And, no, bro. You know you gotta get these clothes, bro. You know this every single day. How many times do we say get your clothes out of there? Uh, uh, you always get stuff when you get back, but you don't get it when you get back because it's still in there, right? Why you didn't get it yesterday? Why you didn't get it yesterday? Man, make sure you get that shit, dog. Have a good day, all right? Love you. Penix is recovering for surgery to repair a torn left ACL, which I don't even know why. And we have this discussion all the time between me and Nate. Bro, I don't know how that's gonna work, bro, with him coming back and him not being able to one, right? And I'm not even gonna probably get into what Stephen A was talking about because I really don't give a fuck. But Penix didn't even play under center last year, right? He don't play in preseason. He's only played in about, I want to say, 12 games in the NFL. He's like 26. And don't get me wrong, I'm just stating facts right now. I'm not saying I don't want to see him succeed because I believe bro got an arm like a motherfucker. But if you can't play on the center and you coming off an ACL and you already have ACL problems, bro, how is this gonna really work? And to me, right now, and I'm gonna get into like the Ole Miss quarterback situation because I was just talking, asking Nate, should we draft a quarterback? But I don't think we should get one this year. When you already know, that 2027 is gonna be one of them classes that, you feel me, like that's gonna be a loaded class of quarterback. Mind you, I don't know how they're gonna play because like even last year, bro, I thought some quarterback was gonna be good and they wasn't. They played like bullshit, bro. Like they was really terrible. So I don't know how that shit is gonna work out, but he's talking about Penix is talking about he'll be ready by April or some shit he said, and he'll be ready by week 1. I wanna just say I wanna have faith in it, but I just can't see it. Deshaun Watson didn't even play last year for Cleveland. I just don't, man. That's hard, bro. Especially when, and I'm not trying to be negative on him, but it's just hard because, like I said, he's not gonna be able to go through OTAs. He's not gonna be able to probably be in mini camp. He's not gonna be in training camp or none of that. Where he's gonna be under fucking center, where he needs to be. He needs to be like he could do all the studying right now and everything, but we know the key problem was last year he had to play literally in the fucking pistol and in the shotgun the whole fucking time, and we was questioning why. And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know why Zach Robinson lied. I think he just wanted to protect him, and as his quarterback, and I respect that as a coach. If you did allow to protect him in his confidence, but we knew as like football people that really study, like watch the game, and fuck anybody who don't agree with me. You feel me? Like I've had to cut motherfuckers off because of this shit. I don't play the little. We can have different opinions, different whatever, but when this shit get disrespectful, I ain't the one to play with, bro. I've been trying to be goddamn good and try to change my life around, but motherfuckers feel like they know you and be really bitch made inside because they fucking want to be. But back to what we saying, we're gonna be positive. I just don't feel that he's going like he has to learn how to play on the center. So I to me, dog, like you really gotta be Vaughn. That little nigga. my kids. But we just gotta see, man. As Tuesday introduced new conference for new general manager Ian Cunningham, Ryan was asked if Penix would be the Falcons starter when he returns it, and Ryan would not say either way. I'm not a fan of Ryan, but I understand why he did that because, like I said, he got a see. Neither of us are the head coach of the football team, so we can't answer your question on that, Ryan said. And I think as we start getting, and see, that looks bad because of how Arthur Blank was saying that he's in, like he wants Micheal Penix. He want Micheal Penix, which to me, Arthur Blank's he just fucking just, I don't know, man. Sometimes I be thinking about Arthur Blank. I be like, bro, you have been the owner for I don't know how many years, and sometimes you still look so motherfucking clueless when it comes to this goddamn game. And this shit don't like it's not. It could be rocket science to some people, but damn it, you've been in this game too fucking long just to be looking clueless sometimes. And I don't know, man. He just worries me as an owner. I think as we start to get into the process and drive deeper into the roster, how it currently stands, we're going to get in the future. I think those are conversations that I'll be part of. Bet your ass will, motherfucker. Quarterbacks obviously very important, and we're excited about Mike and what he's doing with his rehab. I've been up at the factory the last 3 weeks, and Michael's been in there attacking that, and he's in good space right now. So we're excited about where he's at, but certainly a lot of the discussion for us about the entire roster. Okay, let me say this. I don't never trust what nobody says, because if we not back there, they're just going to say good shit and have him good spirit. I like motherfuckers that's realist. I want you to always be real with me. I don't know if they're being real with me. The Falcons are known to be in your mother. They will lie to you like a motherfucker. These are some lying motherfuckers. Do you get what I'm saying? And they lied to us all last year. They will lie for some fucking reason. So I don't trust everything they tell us. Ryan led the search committee that hired Cunningham last Thursday night and new head coach Kevin Stefanski on January 17. The Falcons, who have not made the playoffs nor had a winning record since 2017, fired then head coach Raheem Morris and then Terry Fontenot after an 8-9 season in 2025. I will say this about Terry. I hope Terry does get another chance, because I don't think Terry really got a fair shot with the Falcons. I think Rich McKay bitch ass was still making calls. I think it was a lot of bullshit going on. He did have a good draft. To me, he got Drake London, he got Kyle Pitts, he got Bijan. We still skeptical of Micheal Penix Jr. and fucking, you know how we feel about this last draft. All 4 players, bro. From I'll give you Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr. I wanted him, and Xavier Watt showed me something. Billy Bowman was my favorite one out of all of them. I hate that he got hurt, but Billy Bowman is my favorite one out of all of them. Out of all the players we drafted, Billy Bowman is probably gonna be my favorite player. So I hope Terry for not get another chance. Kirk Cousins. Oh, I skipped something. Penix 25 completed 61% of his passes for 1,982 yards in 9 games last season, with 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The team was 3-6 in his start. The Falcons drafted Penix in 2024 with the 8th pick. I think that was kind of how to get him with the injury problems. And then, like I said, to me, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know. That was the tricky one. I think that's what got Terry really fired with that quarterback situation. Because with the draft he just had, you couldn't get fired. But with that shit that you pulled with that, and him giving Kirk Cousins $180 million, and then you draft Penix and he ended up that's look bad. Kirk Cousins, who is likely to be released because of salary cap credential, completed 61% of his passes for 1,721 yards with 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 10 games. With Cousins as your starter, the Falcons were 5-3. Stefanski was competrated of Penix last week as his introduction news conference. I think you see a player on the tape that can get through progression, can layer the ball, can push the ball to all areas of the field. Stefanski. See, with me too, he would have to learn different schemes of the defense, knowing when they are going to blitz. So like they might show you a blitz coverage, but they might drop back in zone type vibe and shit like that. So knowing when to read that and how to read that, I know that comes with timing, that comes with practice, that comes with gaming. But even watching more and more films, Michael Penix Jr. also, said something last year that I was worried about when he said that he didn't really have nobody that was on the sideline helping him, and I actually believe that too. He wasn't getting the proper help on the sideline to help him understand the game a little bit more. To me, that's what I got from that. Even though he tried to flip the shit and say, that's not what he meant. Shit, I believe that's what the fuck he meant from that. From what he said. Like I said, when people be going back, sometimes, bro, I don't be believing that shit. Sometimes I believe what you said first is what you really meant, and only time will tell, man. Like I said, we got a long way. We still got the what we got. We got the NFL Combine coming up. We got pro days coming up. Then we got the draft. Even though it's not too far along from now, the Falcons have some decision to make. And shit, I just skipped over free agency. And free agency is in a few weeks. You feel me? In March. So they got some decisions to make on what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna bring in a quarterback. I wouldn't be mindful of a Matt Jones coming in for 1 year. Even a Justin Fields coming in for I don't want to see a Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's old as fuck. I just don't want to see that. But if he do, hey, I'm not the one making the motherfucking calls. I don't know. But I don't know how Joe Flacco will be as a mentor, even to Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix. Say you wanted somebody there that's going to mentor him right then. Bringing in the Justin Fields might not be the option. I don't know, bro. Like, it just all depends on where they're trying to go with this shit. Are they looking to? They already just saying the right things, and they really are not. They already gave up on Michael Penix Jr., or they're gonna give him a fair chance. He has to be able to play under the center. He has to, because what they told us last year about Bijan, that it helps Bijan see the whole better. Look, no matter what fuck you line Bijan gonna get it. That's just bullshit to me. Bijan is gonna, bro. The way Bijan see the whole is just different, bro. He's a different type of player, special type of motherfucking player, bro. And I'm glad that we got him. I really don't give a fuck how nobody if they didn't want him, and how we feel about because we're gonna lose Tyler Algier. Like, well, let's be real, we're gonna lose Tyler Algier. I look at what we had with Tyler Algier is what they had in San Diego, where they had LaDainian Thomas and Michael Turner. I feel like Tyler Algier is gonna go somewhere, he's gonna ball the fuck out. But Tyler Algier is not the same type of playmaker and person that Bijan is. Bijan, bro, I swear to God, if it wasn't for Bijan and some of the goddamn breakaway runs he did, I don't know if we would have made it. Because you gotta remember, we didn't have no wide receivers for a good period of time. Shit, they was lining him up at wide receiver. They didn't never line Tyler Algier up at wide receiver. They never did. So you have to think about what Bijan brings to the table, and that's probably what's going to give Bijan that big payday, to be able to be not just a running back, but to be able to be lined up at wide receiver and shit. You don't see that shit as much like that. You don't see that with a Saquon. I don't know if I see that as much with a James, even though James Cooks can get out of the backfield and do it. I mean, line up at wide receiver and be able to torch a motherfucker. What running back is really like that, bro? You think of a Marshall Faulk for real, like that. Maybe a little Daniels and Thomas sometime, but the way Bijan do this, man, like, it's just different to me, dog. You feel me? And I really, really feel like he's a special person. I just hope Kevin Stefanski do not come in and fuck shit up with this, man, because we all remember what Arthur Smith was doing with him and fucking shit up and having him on the bench when he could have been playing and shit. Just dumbass shit, bro. So you just got to be careful. You just got to be careful, man. I just hope that they don't fuck that shit up. We going to positive, like I said, how this shit go. I'm not on Kevin. Thank God I got them defensive. So look, Before I get into the Black History information that I wanted to drop on y'all, I'm gonna talk about another quarterback, man, that they're doing with this Ole Miss quarterback. Let me see. And they have, I don't know why they doing this boy like this, man. This man like this, bro. But they have literally declined his Let me make sure I say this shit right. All right, y'all. Is this the photos? Yeah, these are photos. My bad. Take my ass to sleep. All right, y'all. So the NCAA responded because I believe he tried to. The NCAA makes an eligibility lawsuit, right? The NCAA responded. So the NCAA responded to Ole Miss football quarterback Trinidad Chambliss' request for a preliminary injunction in his eligibility lawsuit. A 27-page document filed February 2nd argues that Chambliss does not have the medical documentation to prove he was incapable of playing in 2022 while at Division II of Ferris State. I never even heard of that. Chambliss sued the NCAA in Lafayette County Chancery Court in Mississippi on January 16, after the NCAA denied his eligibility waiver to return to the Rebels in 2026. He and his legal counsel motioned for a preliminary injunction, which is scheduled to be heard on February 12th in the Callahan County Courthouse. Chambliss was at Ferry State from 2021 to 2024, but did not play in any games in his first two seasons. The NCAA recent filing includes 4 reasons why the preliminary injunction should be denied. It's not the court's role to second guess the NCAA decision, and that the Mississippi Supreme Court has held that courts cannot interfere with the intention decisions of private membership organization unless the decision violates a clear contractual provision or legal duty. Chambliss cannot prove the NCAA violated the Convention of Good Faith and Fair Dealing. Chambliss will not suffer irreparable harm without injunction, and the public interest favors the NCAA because Chambliss would be taking a roster spot in NIL compensation from others. I know y'all lying. The NCAA also said the colleague sport will become ungovernable if eligibility determination are instead the result of individual court decision. One day after the NCAA responded, a letter was filed with Chambliss Dr. Michigan-based otolaryngologist. But these are some hard ass goddamn words. Or whatever. Anthony Howard in support of Chambliss. The letter states Chambliss began seeing Howard in 2022 due to recurrent throat infection after contracting mononucleosis in 2020. Howard wrote that Chambliss suffered from recurrent throat infection, poor sleep quality, daytime failure, and exercise-related airways discomfort throughout the 2002 season. In the 2023, Chambliss had his tonsil removed in 2024. While Trinidad Chambliss wants to play at Ole Miss over in the NFL 2026, as outlined in his 34-page lawsuit, Chambliss argued he is likely to make much more money in college in 2026 than in the NFL. If Trinidad is ineligible and is forced to enter the NFL draft, he will likely sustain monetary losses in the millions of dollars, measured by the difference between the value of his existing name, image, and likeness agreement versus the likely amount of his uh, companionship in 1 year of the NFL. The lawsuit says recent NFL mock drafts have shown that Chambers' stock is rising. The Athletic project Chambers to be the number 34 pick in the second round by the Arizona Cardinals. The New Orleans Saints quarterback Tyler Selton was drafted in the second round of the 2025 NFL draft and signed a 4-year contract worth about $2.7 million annually. So y'all let me know how y'all for not letting him come back. What I don't understand is this, right? You have players, right? And let me exit out of this. You have players that I've seen be in the goddamn, and I guess they have injury problems, but bro, they be in goddamn college for like 8, 9, 10 years. And I don't really understand how that shit works and why it works like that. To me, that's unfair. And I don't know why it's just I don't know. And Mississippi have their own type. Mississippi and Louisiana, they run their shit. In Alabama, they run their shit a lot different, bro. Like a lot different. I don't even want to say Alabama because Alabama, when it comes to football, they support that shit because they, you know what I mean? Like they different. But when it comes to certain things out in Mississippi, bro, like I don't know, man. It's a fucked up world we living in, bro. Like you got players that could go to pro and still come back to college, but you won't let this man play out another year in college and he want to play. Like, how the fuck does that make any sense, bro? Like, none of this shit ever made sense. I've seen players stay in college, and I've seen players stay in college for so goddamn long. You be like, bro, go find something else to do. And it's getting out of hand too. I don't know if the rules are ever gonna get changed. I don't know if they're gonna get a handle on this shit. I know I just posted the other day on Facebook about, they're paying high school students now. They're letting high school students get paid off their likeness and name and image. And I really don't know how the fuck that's gonna go, because especially in these urban situations, in these urban counties, you see players and football players or any sports players getting certain type of money, man, and the other kids ain't getting it. And to the way times is, man, you don't know, like these kids always fighting over bullshit. So it's like, I don't know if that's gonna put these high school players in jeopardy, because it's not the same as in college and high school. These high school kids, they always fighting over here. Hell, they just had a fight during the protest of them doing the ISIS. So it's like they always gonna find a reason to fight and shit like that, man. And you see kids all the time, and like I said, they like to stunt their money and shit, bro. Like that's why I'm kind of thinking about really, I don't know, man. I've been thinking about taking on a mentorship and really getting into schools and trying to, I mean, I honestly, I don't know why my mind is going there. I don't know why my spirit is feeling like this, man. To me, what I've been doing now, to me, just don't, like, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing unless I have to, but I need another fucking income as well, because none of this shit right now is just making me no money. And I don't want to say I'm doing it for the money. I do feel like I could make an impact. Like my daughter always told me, she like, Dad, you should come teach. She's always been like that. She like, Dad, you should go teach. And I just always bypass that shit. But a lot of time my daughter do be right when she say certain shit. And I do listen to her. We have that type of relationship, and I'm glad, you know what I mean? And I was to this lady the other day, and she was like, I was just about my kids in the situation, how I was really doubting myself, and I wasn't really confident enough to go. I didn't really know, because I haven't been in the work field. That's not really my thing. And she was just like, you're really a rebel. Like, you really go against the grain. And she was a psychologist, so for her to know that, and just by me, I didn't really see too much for her to know that. But she just, I think my energy and my spirit just gave her that vibe. And that is me. Y'all, if y'all know me, bro, like I'm real rebellious, going like I fight for what I believe in. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to bush, but a lot of people feel like I have a good impact on kids. They just, as father, just being a single father and shit like that. And I want to say this, bro, like I know what position I put myself in as a single father and shit like that. But what people ain't nobody's gonna ever do is try to make me feel like I don't deserve the credit. I deserve to be able to step up and be the man that motherfuckers can't do it. Because a lot of us, even though a lot of people say it's like the numbers is statistic of a father, kids having a father, a lot of fathers don't go fight for the kids. A lot of the fathers just goddamn the baby mamas might give them the goddamn kids. And I know this from just being around and helping a lot of niggas. I've helped a lot of my homies get their kids, even if it's just some time with them or just anything. I've helped them get their kids. So I'm never gonna let nobody try to discredit me. I don't give a fuck how close we are. I don't care what we grew up. I don't give a fuck how you feel. You will never discredit me, because at the end of the day, you will never be the man I am, because you can't do what I do. You need a woman to fucking, a lot of y'all need women to do the goddamn work. You don't see my baby mama and around doing nothing around me as far as that. They do what they do for their kids and they're in their life, and I thank them for that. But I handle the doctor visits, I handle what I need to handle, and they trust me to handle it. Hell, they trust me with their other goddamn kids. So they're my bonus kids. Like their other kids love to come over my house, and they don't have to be around for that shit. They don't have to that's a different type of goddamn. You a different type of breed to me if you able to have your baby mamas even have that kind of ability to believe in you, or that comfort to believe in you, just to drop the kids. Now, we live in a different time where baby mamas just like don't give a fuck. But I'm not gonna they're my kids. Like my kids mama, they care. Like I they will say that they care. And they kids love me just like I got love for them. And it's hard out here to be a single father. Now, I don't always make the right decisions. I'm not always perfect. I'm not always right. But bro, what nobody will ever do is come around me and discredit me, or try to always make me feel like I'm doing something wrong, or just throw little jealous shots, or just throw bullshit at me because you feel some type of way. Cause yeah, I go through shit, but I'm mentally, my mental is gonna be the same because of what I have been through. And I thank God just like sometimes for putting certain people in my life that comes when I need to talk. Like my mom always putting me on, like she always gonna say, but like when certain people always say certain shit, it don't always hit as hard the same, because you hear it and you know how they feel about you. They love you. So you know that they're gonna just say the shit because they love you. They want to see you do good. But when people don't know you and they have this perception of just like they like, yeah, you different. That's hit a little different because you don't even fucking know me. And it's crazy. The people that feel like they know me don't even know me. That be the thing about it, bro. You have to spend time with a person to really know them. If I don't tell you, if you're not around me to know what I go through in my daily life, how the fuck can you tell me that you know me? God damn, man. Come on, mama. But enough about me, man. Let's get into this Black History thing, man. So I think I'm gonna start with this first, right? I was gonna start with Maynard Jackson, but I'm gonna do him second, and then I'll get into. I'm gonna try to do three things, right? But I want to talk about something that really hit home for me, right? I'm really big on us as Black people sticking together, and I was never big on the Martin Luther King's integration thing, right? I've always said this. I don't really give a fuck how nobody feel. A lot of I probably that's why I don't fit into a lot of crowds, because I don't agree with a lot of shit, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for a lot of motherfuckers. Black people was doing so well, man, was so good, and we feel like after the Black Wall Street that hit and the tragedy that hit in 1921 that they didn't rebuild the shit. And if you know your history, bro, they did rebuild it. I seen one video today. The nigga said they built it in 3 days. They didn't build it in 3 days, but it did come back around pretty quick. Depending on how you feel and how things work in 1921 to 1925. So I wanted to play this video and just show how Black people, when we come together and how we was thriving together before we did the integration, and how we like, because to me, as far as black people, bro, we love to include everybody and everything, right? And sometimes I think that backfires on us, and it has. You feel me? Like, because I feel like not everybody do the same thing for us, and a lot of people might not agree with it. I really don't give a fuck how you feel sometimes, like, and I'm not trying to be rude. It's just everybody have their own opinion, because we all go through different situations that show us different things. Some people have never seen racism in their life. They never been through it. So how could you understand how I feel if you never been through what I've been through? So you only thing you could do is really agree to disagree and respect it. It's the disrespect that a lot of times they come and get niggas really got down in a place where it goes bad. But it's like, if you never been through what I've been through, you're not gonna see it from my point of view. But let me play this video real quick. And y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments.
In 1921, the predominantly black neighborhood of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was victim to one of the biggest massacres on U.S. soil.
More than 1,000 African-American homes and businesses were looted and burned to the ground.
And for decades, the massacre went untold.
White businessmen who ran the city realized that Tulsa had a huge PR problem, and they were determined to bury the story.
But on the heels of the reignition of the Black Lives Matter movement, there's been national attention brought to the massacre through news outlets.
In 1921, a white mob burned Greenwood to ash,
as well as pop culture. The story is now getting the attention it deserves. But the massacre is only half of that story. What happened after the massacre is just as important.
The real story here is the story of the indomitable human spirit. It's about these remarkable black people who had vision. They created something that was of national renown. They watched it destroyed unjustly. Most of them remained. They were resilient. They rebuilt, even in the face of great hostility.
In order to understand the massacre in Tulsa, you have to understand the context around it.
So the national context is something that sociologists and historians often call the low point of race relations in America, because there was a proliferation of so-called race riots. These were invasions of black communities all across the country.
1919 was dubbed Red Summer, with riots in dozens of cities around America in what was mostly white-on-black violence. Greenwood, however, dodged those riots and actually flourished because of the oil boom.
More than 10,000 people lived there. People were coming in daily to this incredible boom town, this oil city of Tulsa. Jobs were plentiful. Plenty of people had, regular steady paychecks.
It was like a main street, really. So you would have beauty salons and barbershops, laundries, grocery stores, restaurants. So this was kind of an everyman's paradise owned by black folks, concentrated in a 35 square block area that abuts downtown Tulsa.
During that era, a successful black community was met with white resentment, and Greenwood was no different.
The idea was gain economic power, gain wealth, and then you will get respect, and with respect will come political power. Well, just the opposite happened in Tulsa. If you gain economic power, you will court resentment and violence ultimately.
White Americans can get very upset and jealous when they see African Americans who have things, cars, nice homes that they don't have. There's no question that part of that jealousy was part of the fuel for what became the Tulsa Race Massacre, but it really wasn't the spark that began it.
That spark was a black boy accidentally touching a white girl in an elevator.
Tulsa was a tinderbox or powder keg, needing only some sort of igniter or catalyst. That event involved two teenagers, Dick Rowland, 19 years old, shoeshine boy who works downtown, Sarah Page, 17 years old, white girl who operates an elevator at downtown Drexel building.
What we think happened is Dick stepped onto the elevator, he tripped, he reached his hand out, he probably grabbed Sarah Page, she screamed, and he ran out of the elevator. Meanwhile, a white clerk in a nearby store, had concluded that this had been an interracial rape attempt, and he started to spread that story.
The next morning, Dick Rowland was arrested and taken to the courthouse, and that could have been the end of things.
Had it not been for the intervention of the Tulsa Tribune, which the next day published an article entitled "Nabbed Negro for Attacking Girl in an Elevator." It was a false narrative that painted the portrait of an attempted rape in broad daylight in public space in downtown Tulsa.
After hearing rumors that Dick Rowland would be lynched, several dozen black World War I vets assembled with weapons to confront the mob.
As you might imagine, words are exchanged between the larger white group and the smaller black group. White man tries to take a black man's gun, the gun discharges. Chaos ensues. The violence lasted roughly 16 hours. Black men put up a fearless defense of the Greenwood community. But ultimately, the mob spills over into the Greenwood district, burning, looting, shooting, destroying everything in sight.
The destruction of Greenwood wasn't just bad, it was total.
It's just like a wave that goes block by block. Both movie theaters go up, the public library branch goes up, the African American hospital is burned, 22 churches are burned, grocery stores, restaurants, everything is leveled. In terms of the number of people who died, there are reasonable estimates that go as high as 300. And Greenwood is, physically speaking, is gone.
Property damage estimates range from $1.5 to $2 million, which translates to $25 million today. But this isn't where the story ends.
The fact of the matter is that Black Tulsans rebuilt Greenwood. The community rebuilt it.
And that rebuilding was an uphill battle. With no help from the federal government and the city of Tulsa actively trying to prevent the rebuilding, the Greenwood community began the long, slow reconstruction of Greenwood.
The massacre in the Black community became a point of pride. The fact is that they fought back. So this was a defiant community, it was a proud community, and they were determined to stay.
So the community, we know, was rebuilt to a significant enough degree to host this national conference of these Black business leaders in 1925. In other words, yes, you may kill us. Yes, you may burn us out, but we shall not be moved. We will persevere. We will go forward.
Greenwood did rise again from the ashes. And by the 1930s and 1940s, you can make an argument that it was even grander than it was before.
While Greenwood was able to withstand and rebuild after their neighborhood was razed to the ground, it wasn't able to withstand the second attack on the community, which was much less obvious, but no less devious. The first of those attacks, ironically, was integration.
And for many of us, that's counterintuitive because we embrace integration as a positive value. But when integration comes along, Black dollars flow outside the community. Why? Because there are more goods and services available to Black folks at better price points for Black folks, and it undermines the financial foundation of the community.
The other factor that destroyed Greenwood for a second time? Urban renewal.
Urban renewal projects often have negative effects on communities of color because those communities are often unable to stand up against urban planning done by people who don't take into consideration the thoughts and values of communities of color.
One of those projects?
An 8-lane interstate freeway was plowed right through deep Greenwood, through the heart of the community there.
It divided the community in such a way that it's virtually impossible for the community to come back cohesive whole like it was the location of the highway.
And Greenwood wasn't the only city destroyed by these freeways. Chicago, Detroit, Durham, the Bronx, Los Angeles all suffered similar devastating effects from freeways essentially ripping a hole directly through Black communities during the 50s and 60s.
It's the old cliche, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Certainly, I hope that's changing with movements like the Black Lives Matter movement, what we're seeing today. But in the past, a lot of these communities of color just didn't have a place at the table, didn't have a voice, and didn't have the number of white allies that I hope that we have today.
All right, y'all. So I can tell you right now, the Black Lives Matter shit was a whole bunch of bullshit, bro. Majority of them, and if you don't believe me, you can look it up. I might do an episode on it or something, but the Black Lives Matter, man, that's just a whole, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's white people that actually got the trademark from it, but the people that was running this shit, they all got some fraudulent shit. Like, bro, it's just not the same mindset. Like, a lot of us do have that mindset of being Black owned and bringing that Black Wall Street back together, but a lot of us, man, take advantage of the situation. You can't really trust nobody. So you don't really know who's out here for the better movement of the Black Lives Matter or who's just out here for their own personal gain. So it's crazy because I want to see us do good. Like I said all the time, I want to see us do better, but man, that shit don't hit the same no more, bro. Where the fuck did that video go? All right then, y'all. So I'm gonna show y'all a video of Marilyn Jackson, the first black mayor in Atlanta. And if you have been to Atlanta before, we have an international side, a Delta International side that's named after him, and he has a high school named after him as well. I thought it was another video that I could have played.
Maynard Jackson Jr., the first African-American mayor of a major southern city.
My name is Brooke Jackson Edmond, and Maynard Jackson was my father. To most people who knew of Maynard, he was an imposing and hopefully an inspirational leader. But to me, he was just daddy, and he was a wonderful father. He made my childhood very magical, not because of the places he took me or the people he introduced me to. It was not because of his career.
I am one of Maynard's closest friends, if not his closest friend. I knew him for 60 years. And this relationship goes back to John Wesley Dobbs, who was our maternal grandfather and had 6 daughters. Maynard's mother was the oldest. My mother was the 4th oldest. And so we grew up in a very close-knit family where being a cousin was a person of high stature.
Maynard was a very unique individual. The admiration that he had for his father, for his grandfather, he knew that it was kind of a multi-generational responsibility that he bore to give back to his community.
My name is Maynard Jackson III. I'm the only son of the Honorable Maynard Jackson Jr. The first 2 Maynards were dynamic and revolutionary. Their desire to see equality among all people and their commitment to civic and community service is unmatched.
From John Wesley Dobbs to Maynard Jackson Sr., Maynard really bore a big burden. It was a burden of responsibility, it was a burden of giving back, it was a burden of being a leader, it was a burden of taking a lot of people on his shoulders and making life different for them.
There is no person in the last 50 years in municipal government who's had a greater impact on people of color than Maynard Jackson?
Maynard's legacy, in my opinion, is his stance on inclusion, diversity, and the economic empowerment that he brought about by mandating that all city contracts, which at that time was less than 1%, include minorities, women, and other people of different colors.
Maynard signed the first human rights ordinance, but the history of that was Maynard having to battle certain religious forces and right-wing forces in this city just to say that we're going to have a human rights day, because it was interpreted somehow an embracement of a counterculture that they did not deem appropriate.
It's a legacy of leadership. It's a legacy of doing the right thing. And it's a story that needs to be told. In a city like Atlanta, Georgia, which had always had a national reputation of being a model city, Maynard was the guy that stepped forth and said, you know, this could be done better. This will be done better. I think a lot of people don't get that. They don't get the personal damage he did to his own name, the ability not to make money because people didn't want to give him opportunities. Always having to be the guy pushing the envelope. Everybody else is around there trying to make money. But he was the guy that took the hits. That's the story that really needs to be told. Because if you really go out there and you put your neck out there, there's a price to pay. A lot of people he helped didn't help him back. And I'm talking about African-American business owners, right? The white community never gave him the credit for making Atlanta the model city.
And of course, the crowning glory of that was when the Atlanta airport came in ahead of time and under budget and had significant minority participation. And that really legitimized that concept, and a lot of people still use that today.
Seldom in life do leaders come along that completely change the outcome of entire cities and entire nations. Maynard Jackson was just that type of individual.
He was squeaky clean, a man of high integrity, character, and he
Being the third Maynard, I feel it's my duty to share my father's story and illuminate the things that he did. You will learn intimate details about his life, his hurts, fears, what his driving passions were, politics, and what it really took to build Atlanta.
Good afternoon. My name is Sam Pollard, and I've been asked to direct a new documentary about the life of Mayor Maynard Jackson. I was approached about doing this documentary. I was very excited about the challenge. And the reason is because when you think about the civil rights movement in America, most times people think of what happened in the 50s and the early 60s with Dr. Martin Luther King and SCLC and SNCC and the March on Washington. But there's another part of the civil rights movement. What happened after the walls of segregation were starting to be broken, and there was integration. And what happened was there was a group of African-American politicians who now their job was to work within the system to make change happen. One of those men who was on the front lines was Maynard Jackson, who was the first Black mayor of a southern city, Atlanta. And so this is his story, the story of Atlanta, the story of the Black community that he grew up in, the story of the changes he made in the city of Atlanta. So I'm looking forward to making this documentary and interviewing the people who lived and knew Maynard Jackson. Anything you can do to help get this film made would greatly be appreciated. Again, I'm Sam Pollard and the producer-director of the documentary, Maynard. Thank you.
If this is not part of your philanthropic portfolio this year, you are making a huge mistake and missing a real opportunity for us to tell our story that began the last quarter of this century.
I want people to go and see this movie and come away understanding all of the unique things that came together in just the right way to create a person as incredible as Maynard Jackson. And I'm biased, but I think this is all something that we should see and experience. So please go to maynardmovie.com and support this movie today.
I would encourage everybody to give to maynardmovie.com.
I urge you to support this effort. If we don't tell our story, no one else will.
I'm Maynard Jackson III. Go to maynardmovie.com for more details.
All right, y'all. So I can read up on him real quick. Let's see something. Hold on. just looking at it. Might not be able to pull it up for y'all. All right, y'all. So don't worry about it. I was gonna read a few things about him, but I'm gonna go to this last video. We have Miss Bessie Coleman, American hero. I think she was the first black woman air pilot, y'all. So, you know, gotta pay due respects to that. Like I said, it is Black History Month, and I just want to speak, even if I don't agree with everybody ain't gonna agree with certain things. I just want to give these people they just do, because a lot of times we just speak about the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King, the Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, certain black people that we speak about all the time, that these people don't get the like just do it that they do, that they did.
The early years of heavier-than-air aviation included famous inventors such as Wilbur and Orville Wright from Dayton, Ohio, Glenn Curtiss from Hammondsport, New York, Brazilian Roberto Santos Dumont, and Louis Blériot from France. Although they differed in their origins, temperaments, and design strategies, all of them were male and all of them were white. In 1892, however, a tiny baby was born in northeastern Texas who eventually would change the face of aviation, both figuratively and literally. On January 26th of that year, Elizabeth Bessie Coleman was born in Atlanta, Texas. Her parents, George and Susan Coleman, were African-American sharecroppers who could neither read nor write. In 1894, the Coleman family moved to Waxahachie, Texas, a town about 30 miles south of Dallas. At age 6, Bessie started attending school 4 miles from her home. In 1901, tired of the racism that faced black people in Texas, George Coleman, being part Choctaw, decided to move to Oklahoma, then called Indian Territory. Susan Coleman, however, insisted on staying in Texas with her daughters. Susan began working for a white family. When cotton harvest came around, mother and daughters augmented the family's meager income by picking cotton. In 1910, Bessie enrolled in the Agricultural and Normal University, a blacks-only school in Kingston. Poverty forced her to leave after just 1 year, so she returned home and earned money by washing clothes. When Bessie turned 23, she moved to Chicago to live with 2 older brothers, Walter and John. Walter worked regularly as a Pullman porter, but John was often unemployed. While still living down in Texas, Coleman had announced to her mother that she wanted, quote, to amount to something, unquote. Now, up in Chicago, she sought a better life than that of just a maid, cook, or laundress. She attended the Burnham School of Beauty Culture and then found a job as a manicurist in a men's barbershop on Chicago's South Side. In 1917, when the United States entered World War I, Coleman's brothers went to Europe as part of Illinois' all-black 8th Army National Guard. After the war ended, the brothers returned home, and one brother started teasing Bessie about her limited circumstances, saying that French women had much better career prospects. Some French women, he added, even took to the skies as pilots. Coleman took her brother's remark as a provocation to learn to fly, but she quickly discovered that no American aviation school would train women or minorities. Undeterred by the limits placed on her sex and race, she developed a plan to make it to France and learn to fly. She took French lessons, found a better paying job, and enlisted the aid of African Americans to bring her plan to fruition. One person who helped Coleman financially was Robert Abbott, founder and owner of the Chicago Defender, one of the city's leading black newspapers. She also sought help from Jesse Binga, an ambitious real estate owner and founder of a bank that bore his name. In 1920, claiming to be 4 years younger than her actual age of 28, Coleman applied for an American passport. On November 20th of that year, she boarded the SS Imperator in New York Harbor and steamed for Europe. In northern France, Coleman found training at the Caudron Brothers Aviation School. founded by the French airplane builders René Caudron and his brother Gaston, the aviation school was at the time the most famous one in France. Coleman's training plane was the Newport Type 82, a common trainer of the era. During her 7-month course, she learned how to make banking turns, how to recover from tailspins, and how to loop the loop. With a pilot's license dated June 15, 1921, Bessie Coleman became the first black person in the world, man or woman, to earn an international pilot's license. After finishing her course in northern France, she went to Paris for additional training. In September, she steamed for home on the SS Manchuria. When the ship arrived in New York, newspapermen, both white and black, met the ship in order to meet America's first black woman aviator. While in New York, Coleman was wined and dined by the African American community. She attended performances of a play called Shuffle Along, the first successful musical in America starring black actors. With lyrics written by pianist U.B. Blake and his friend Noble Sissel, the musical included performers such as Florence Mills and the incomparable Ethel Waters. When Coleman returned to Chicago, the Defender printed a photograph of her mother holding a silver cup that the Flyer had received in New York from Shuffle Along cast members. In the 1910s and 20s, American pilots had few ways to make a living. Most commonly, they earned income by holding air shows, performing feats like parachuting, challenging race cars to high-speed dashes, or looping the loop. To succeed on the air show circuit, Coleman quickly realized that she needed more flight training, but American flying schools continued to refuse her admittance. In February of 1922, therefore, Coleman returned to New York City to prepare for a second trip to France. Once again, New York's African American community entertained the Flyer. She met again with cast members of the Shuffle Along musical and addressed the 2,500-member Metropolitan Baptist Church, which gave her a standing ovation. On February 22nd, back she steamed to France, this time on the SS Paris. After 2 months of flight training in France, Coleman went to Holland, where she met the Dutch airplane designer Anthony Fokker. In late May, she went to Germany, soon borrowed a plane, and flew it over the Kaiser's Palace in Berlin. She stayed 10 weeks in that country, meeting many flyers. Among them was Robert Talon, a German aviation pioneer, one of the Wright brothers' European employees, and designer of the Albatross D-3 fighter plane of World War I. In early August, Coleman steamed for home on the SS Nordau. Newsmen once again met her ship when it docked in New York Harbor. Realizing that dramatic stories would entice air shows to hire her as an aerial performer, she claimed that she had learned to fly after serving with the Red Cross in Europe during World War I. She also claimed to have met German royalty and politicians, and that she had flown a large German seaplane. Coleman's chance to fly before the American public first came at Curtis Field in Garden City, Long Island, in early September of 1922. New York's all-black 15th Infantry paraded on the field, and the Flyer herself wore a military-style outfit while flying a Curtiss JN-4. Upon landing, the Flyer received a bouquet of flowers from none other than Trinidad's famed aviation pioneer and a self-promoter in his own right, Hubert Fauntleroy Julian. The September 4th issue of one of New York's papers reported that at least 1,000 spectators, mostly African American, had attended the event. In mid-October, at Checkerboard Field in Chicago, Coleman made her first flights in front of her adopted city. The airport's owner, a white flyer named David Benke, who supported her flying efforts, provided the plane for her performance. In January of 1923, Coleman boarded a train for the West Coast to meet with officers of the Coast Tire and Rubber Company in California in hopes of doing aerial advertising for the firm. After visiting the company's manufacturing plant in Oakland, she headed south to Rockwell Air Intermediate Depot in San Diego, where she acquired a Curtiss JN-4. In early February, Coleman took off from Santa Monica to fly 25 miles to a fairground celebration in Los Angeles. At 300 feet, her engine stalled and the plane then crashed. Coleman was knocked unconscious and suffered a broken leg, 3 broken ribs, several cuts, and other injuries. Rescuers took her to St. Catherine Hospital in downtown Santa Monica, where it took her 3 months to recuperate. It took over 2 more years for Coleman to return to flying. Now performing in Houston, Texas in 1925, she did motor stalls, dives, barrel rolls, figure eights, and loop-the-loops. Her performance had particular social and cultural importance because it took place on June 19th, or Juneteenth, the date on which Texas slaves first learned of their emancipation through an order read by Union General Gordon Granger. In mid-July, Coleman flew at a church event in Richmond, Texas, and then again in Houston for black employees of the Southern Pacific Railway. In early August, she flew in San Antonio, and in early September, she flew in Wharton, Texas, and performed a parachute jump. Coleman finally made her way to Waxahachie, her childhood town. As was common then, white spectators and black spectators sat in different sections. However, in Waxahachie and other venues over the years, the flyer demanded that both races enter through the same gate, or else she would not fly. In January of 1926, Coleman went south again, giving aviation lectures first in Georgia and then in Florida. With a steadier income, she bought another plane, a used Curtiss JN-4, stored at Love Field in Dallas, to replace the one destroyed in her Santa Monica crash. Coleman now was in Jacksonville, Florida, so she hired a white pilot named William D. Wills to fly the plane to her. She was scheduled to perform again on May 1st at Paxson Field in Jacksonville for members of the city's Negro Welfare League. On April 30th, Wills flew over the field at 3,000 feet with Coleman as a passenger, so she could determine the best landing spot for her next day's parachute jump. The plane suddenly sped up, dropped into a tailspin, and then turned over at 500 feet. With her seatbelt unbuckled to better see her landing spot, Coleman fell out of the plane and plunged to her death. Wills could not regain control of the plane, hit a tree, and crashed to his death about 300 yards from where Coleman's body lay. Although joined in their fates, Wills and Coleman were segregated after their deaths, as Coleman's body went to a blacks-only funeral home. The black-owned Chicago Defender spread news of Coleman's death across the entire front page of its paper. A white-owned Jacksonville paper posted a small news article in the upper left corner of its front page, giving Wills pride of place in the report. The African American a royal send-off worthy of her aviation nickname, Queen Bess. Her body first lay in state at Jacksonville's Bethel Baptist Institutional Church. From there, her body went on to Orlando, Florida, where she was honored at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. And in Chicago, on Friday, May 7, 1926, 10,000 mourners paid their respects at Pilgrim Baptist Church. America's first black woman flyer lies buried in Lincoln Cemetery in Blue Island, Illinois. At the time of her death, Elizabeth Bessie Coleman was only 34 years old.
All right, then, y'all. That's it for my episode today, man. I hope y'all. I plan on doing this a little bit more, man, when I speak. Not just even on Black History Month, man, just over general, because I think a lot of times we just get caught up in the month, and Black history should be talked about all the time. We talk about the negatives all the time. We don't really give to all the positive, even if we don't agree with everything somebody has done. Like I said before, I wasn't with the integration shit. And as you see, it didn't do any really no justice, no help for us as black people. It kind of fucked us over. But maybe one day our new generation, and then like I said, that's why I feel like get into just being a mentor, just getting into these schools, man. Like doing like, you know what I mean, trying to help the best way I can, man. Cause I just feel like I'm not able to help as much as I used to be, and I really want to get back into that, man. But I appreciate everybody that support and watch this episode. This is 105, man, of the Same Goal Different Struggle podcast, y'all. I plan on having an episode with Nate next week. Hopefully that still goes through. Stay positive, man. Keep your head up out here. I know it's rough and it's tough out here, man. Keep good energy around you. Cut off people that don't mean you no good, no matter how long y'all been around each other, man. Everybody when they become those, they become different people, bro. We all go through different journeys, so no matter if they done good before, everybody have their own reasons. Sometimes people do good just to brag about what they've done for you, and you have to be careful of them type of people, because them people don't always mean you no good, man. I'm out, man. Rest in peace to my brother Q.